So let me know, guys, if you can see me. Please give me a thumbs up or a comment if you can see me now. Okay. I'll just be waiting for you to come in. I'll be watching the comment section to see if anyone's here. There might be a delay. Nakakain na ba kayo? Okay. So, I think I have a pair of eyeballs. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Hi, good evening, James. Thank you for commenting. Thanks for being here. Yan. Okay. So, I think meron tayong 16 na nag-confirm, tapos 4 na tentative. Kamusta ang week natin? How has your week been? Tayo ba ay... Ayan, thank you, James, for the feedback. Okay. Alright. So, isa pa lang ang nakikita ko. So, how was your week, James? Busy sa work? Yan. Oo nga, ako din eh. Busy din sa work. And then, makikita mo sa Facebook group, we also enrolled in a course this week. It's a copywriting course. Nako, parang panggabi din kami ng mga nag-course na yun kasi UK time sila. Kaya, yung morning nila, hapon natin. So, kapag yung course ay hapon nila, madaling araw natin. So, yun yung first session namin. Panggabi, oh, James. Night shift, di ba? Ganun nga. Ay, nako. Kamusta dyan sa inyo kung nasan kayo ngayon? Siguro kumakain pa yung iba. Ganyan talaga kapag night shift. I've never done a night shift work before, pero my sisters have, and I know what it's like. Medyo nakaka-drain daw kasi hirap sila na, alam mo yun, yung body clock medyo alanganin. Kasi gising ka sa gabi, tapos pagdating sa umaga, kung hindi conducive to sleep yung environment mo, hindi ka makatulog. Yan. Is anyone else? I think, yan, dumadating na yung iba nating mga kasamahan. Thanks so much for being here, guys. It's a Friday night. I know it's time to relax, cap the weekend, but I thought I'd go live paggabi. Tignan natin kung mas maraming makakanood. Kasi I just want to, alam nyo yun, magkaroon kayo ng chance na magtanong while it's live para makuha nyo instantly yung sagot. Okay. So, a bit of news about me. Nagpa-upgrade na ako ng internet connection. So, hopefully, hindi ako i-fail ng Converge sa ating live ngayon. Right. Okay, just waiting for the others to come in. We will start... maybe let's give it another 1 minute. So, kung kailangan yung kumuha ng kape or whatever, dessert after dinner, or gusto nyo mag-restroom break muna, or kunin yung notebook nyo, or yung resume ninyo, tsaka cover letter, you can still do that. Okay? Para lang mas maraming makarinig ng start natin. Kasi this is going to be a meaty topic. Dami kasing tatanong about resumes and cover letters. For those of you who are already here, good evening. Can you let me know kung if you've given the skills inventory like a try? Kasi that will play a role in your resume, guys. Whether you like it or not. Kailangan natin, alam natin yung skills natin. Kasi yun yung i-showcase natin sa resume. Yan. Para meron tayong target, meron tayong direction, mas malinaw yung message natin. Yan. Can you let me know in the message, in the comment section, kung nasagot ba natin? Tsaka sino sa inyo yung kaharap niyo yung resume ninyo? Because that's going to be helpful na ma-review ninyo siya. Okay. Yan. I'm just checking my Okay. Mukhang okay naman yung aking internet. So, kung nagkakaroon ng problems, guys, please let me know. Okay. Okay, we'll start na. Okay. So, welcome to this session tonight. So, ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay resumes and cover letter. Whether you're looking to get like a full-time employee or you're looking to find a client, you will always be asked for your resume. And then, sometimes, occasionally, they will ask for your cover letter. So, first thing is, ano yung difference ng resume at saka ng cover letter? So, yung resume ninyo, it's limited. Like, keep it 1 to 2 pages lang. Kasi dun mo i-condense yung experience mo na related dun sa ina-applyan mong job. That's a resume. The CV, on the other hand, is walang limit yun sa pages. So, kung halimbawa 25 years yung career mo, pwede mong isulat lahat yun doon. Okay? Pag resume, ideally, yung last 10 years lang ng career mo yung ilalagay mo doon. And then, you include your skills also. Okay, so that's the difference. Now, in terms of, so pareho yun na chronological ha. You work your way backwards. Ano yung pinaka-recent mo na position, and then work your way backwards. So, you can also include ano yung degree mo, and then any other experiences that could be relevant to the position that you're applying for. Okay. Yan. Alright? So, kapag talking about resumes, there are 3 different kinds of resumes. Okay? The first one is chronological. So, you'll just write down lahat ng work experiences mo. You just write it down. The second one is functional. So, that's when you just put only the relevant work experience in your resume. Okay? So, kung halimbawang you had 5 years experience in sales and marketing, and then before that, you had 10 years experience teaching, kung yung ina-applyan mo ay hindi relevant ang teaching, wag mong ilalagay ang teaching. That's the functional type. Now, it's up to you kung anong gusto mong gamitin. But there's the third type, which is combination. And this is what I use personally, yung combination, because it allows you to showcase your work history for the past 10 years and highlight your skills. Okay? Your skills, tapos yung ano yung value na madadala mo doon sa may client na gusto mong applyan. Okay? So, I was hoping I could share my resume with you, pero hindi ako makapag-screen share for some reason. Okay? Can you let me know if you can see my screen? Can you let me know if you can see my screen? I've put up my resume. Can you please just comment why to be as yes? Let me know lang if you can see my resume. So this is okay, wala pa akong nare-receive na comment eh. Pero this is the this is a resume that I use when I'm applying. So whether you can see it or not, because Facebook is showing me that I'm sharing my screen, okay? Ang concern ko lang is nakikita nyo kaya siya ng buo. Do I need to make it bigger? So I'll just zoom it in so that you can see it. Okay. So, the important parts of your resume, una sa lahat, yung header ninyo. Ito yung header ninyo. Yung contact information ninyo. Because you want to make sure that the employer or whoever is going to receive your resume knows who that resume belongs to. So, make sure your name is there, your address, and then your current mobile number and the email address where they can reach you. The last thing you want is your email made it through and they cannot reach you. You're trying to call you, yun pala, mali yung nailagay na cellphone number, o kaya they're emailing you in a certain email address na hindi mo na pala binubuksan. It's an old email address. So, make sure that these details are current and accurate. Okay, so the next thing is yung summary. Yung summary ninyo. My summary, I indulge with my summary kasi high-level clients yung aking tina-target. So, I want to showcase all my skills na applicable dun sa hinahanap nila. So, this position is for a virtual assistant and yung job description niya is for someone who's looking for an executive assistant with project management skills and is tech savvy. Okay? So, usually, ang nakita nating mga resume, nakalagay objective to find an opportunity where I can showcase my skills and bring value to the business or whatever. So, ito, outdated na to na style. I used this for so many years, that style. And then, it was only last year when I discovered na, hindi na pala ganun. Kailangan pala, ang summary mo ay ipakita mo ano yung meron ka. So, in plain words, it's like kung meron kang kausap na tao and you want to impress that person, you tell the story about yourself. Okay? So, halimbawa, in Tagalog, sabihin mo, pag tinanong ka, anong ginagawa mo? Ako, for example, SEO ako or social media manager ako. So, last year, ang ginawa ko, nakapag-increase ako ng reach for this client. And in return, ito yung nag-gain niya na parang revenue. O kaya pwede mong sabihin na I'm a graphics designer. Na yung designs ko in the past 3 months was able to improve yung impact ng marketing namin sa audience ng aking client. So, para kang nagkukwento, pero at the same time, you highlight kung ano yung mga strengths mo. So, that's what I did here. So, I'll just read what's in my summary. Ideally, you keep this 1 to 3 sentences. Parang, in a glance, kita na agad nung mag-recruit sa'yo or nung magkukuha sa'yo kung match ka talaga doon sa kailangan nila. Like, what's going on in your head? What are you like as a person? Okay? So, for me, what I wrote here is, at a financial modeling company, I organized close to 100 events in various cities worldwide while also providing support to learners. So that shows them that I can do logistics and I can also do customer support and I'm exposed to talking to people regardless of their geographical location. So it also highlights parang communication skills na rin without having to parang detail it. In a multi-million-dollar agricultural company, I eliminated our team's dependence on emails and replaced it with a collaborative platform as well as a project management tool that breaks down the siloed approach and provides transparency and direction to all managers and executives to promote alignment and transparency with the pre-identified strategies and budget. So dito, I'm showing na I'm part of a big company and I also play a role that influences the systems that they use in that company. Now, I'm not just, ang role ko ay hindi lang ako basta doing what I'm told to do, but I also initiate, I implement systems. So this shows my tech savviness and then my initiative to improve things na I'm a team player, na I'm keen to help everyone in my team to work better and for the business to have better results. So that's what the first paragraph showcases. On the next paragraph, I sit in the management team. I run $500,000 contracts. manage the executive's day, and I'm trusted with top-level information. I'm the go-to person for purchasing, logistics, facilitating workshops, and tech. I operate on integrity, professionalism, and unique connection in everything I do. So, dun sa may bottom paragraph ko na yan, hina-highlight ko naman yung level of, yung access ko sa management and executive team. Okay? So, the typical roles that I do, para makita nila na, okay, hindi lang high profile, she can also perform a typical executive assistant's role, which is managing an executive's day. Okay? Na she can be entrusted with confidential information. Na she has skills in purchasing, logistics, and all these things. So, makikita nila, parang in that summary, you're able to tell. Para siyang, alam niyo yung elevator pitch kapag sa sales. So, this is like the elevator pitch na parang, ang sabi nga nila, itong part na to, yung top level part ng iyong resume, this is the primary estate. So, parang unang glance pa lang nila dyan, sa part na yan, makikita na nila if you're someone that they would consider or not. Okay? And then, nilagay ko na agad dyan yung skills and expertise. Kasi meron na silang job description. They know what they're looking for, specific skills and expertise. So, I want to make it easy for them to cross-reference. See, ito yung kailangan namin, ito yung meron siya. That way, I'm not wasting seconds or minutes of their time na magsuscroll pa sila sa resume ko just to find what my skills are. Kasi usually yung skills nila, lagyan natin sa ilalim, di ba? So, this is one kind of, one way of doing it. Okay? Marami na tayong nakitang sample sa Canva na ganito yung layout. Pero yung sa Canva, mas, alam mo yun, mas maganda yung mga style nila doon. May color background. Pero the reason why I choose white background and to keep it plain is because iniisip ko, magasto sa ink nung recruiter or nung client. So, I'm always thinking about the person who's going to read my resume, receive my resume. Okay? So, what I do is plain background. I only have color here just to highlight parang block para makita lang nila, madali nilang makita, oh, what is this section about? What is this section about? Okay? And then I use very simple font. I don't waste too much time on parang using fancy fonts. Okay? That's because my role is to make someone's life easier as an assistant. Okay? My role is not in graphic design. Kung graphic design yung line ko, then I would showcase it in my resume. Alright? Okay. So, yun yung dapat ninyong i-consider. Yun yung pwede kong idagdag sa inyo. Always keep the reader in mind when you're preparing your resume so that it's easy for them to see. Kasi just imagine if you're the person in their position, you post a job ad for a virtual assistant, you'll receive like 300 applications. So, can you imagine, how much time would that take for you to read each and every application? Kahit nga itong top part lang na to yung basahin mo eh. That's already equivalent to 300 minutes. Okay, so about mga ilang hours yun? 300 minutes. Mga 5 hours to go through all the applications. Okay? So, it's very important that you put all the important information at the top of the first page. Okay? So, as you can see, this one already has who I am, where I'm from, my contact details, summary of, I'm telling you what I do, I'm pitching myself to you, and then these are my skills. Okay? Now, if you move on, alright, sa skills niyo, remember to put not just your skills, soft skills, but also the tools that you know to use. Okay? If you don't have this yet, kasi karamihan sa inyo, wala pang VA experience, then ilagay ninyo kung ano yung mga software na ginagamit ninyo currently. Whether it's Google Suites, ganyan, baka wala pa kayong Trello, but definitely you know how to use Zoom. Sa office ninyo, baka naka-Microsoft na kayo, Ganon. So, ilalagay ninyo yan dyan. Kung magamit kayo ng Skype, lagay nyo dyan. Okay? Then, the next one is career history. So, as I mentioned earlier, what I use is a combination of chronological and functional. Okay? So, chronological siya kasi ang gagawin ko, ang appearance ko ay I start from the very recent and then I go back. Okay? And then I only included my work experience that is relevant to the position that I'm applying for. I used to work as an institute assistant, organizing courses, pero that was more than, mas matagal na yon. And at the same time, ito yung mas relevant kasi virtual ito. This role and the role before that, they're both relevant to the position that I'm applying for. Okay, so ayun yung i-include ko. Then, in your position, in your career history, I chose to use bold letters for the company, where it's located, and then just a blurb about that company. Okay? And then, when you're talking about your experience there, it would be good to parang showcase ano yung mga accomplishments ninyo. Important to have action words. And then, parang i-highlight ninyo ano yung mga naging contribution ninyo. Kasi instead of, like for example, ito, organizes corporate events. In the present tense siya kasi this is something that I do. But you can change this into something that will showcase, for example, organized events with 90% turn up. Parang ganon. So you include data. Okay, what did you do? What did it do to the company? Right, so that's something for you to consider. Okay, so sa akin, I highlight that I save the managing director this many hours a week by doing these things. And this is what I did, okay, out of my own initiative. Introduce and implemented systems to streamline processes and promote communication, collaboration, transparency, and alignment to company-wide strategies. So that will highlight na, okay, so this person has initiative, this person is capable of implementing systems. She's confident enough to lead projects like this for teams. And then source and purchase $500,000 company assets, actively suggests and supports positive work culture initiatives, and then I also outsource work for translation, videography, data entry, etc. So that's all I need to put in there. And even though I do 100 other things for this client, hindi ko na yun ilalagay doon kasi yung nagmamatch lang doon sa may job description ng target client ko, yung ilalagay ko dito. Okay, kaya nakalagay dyan na may purchasing, initiatives, because ang hinahanap nila is someone who has initiative, someone who has a business mindset. So those are the things na ilalagay ko dyan. Pick only the things that will be relevant to the job or the position that you're applying for. That's very important. Otherwise, if you put noise there, the person reading your resume will be at a loss. Like, parang after 3 seconds, if it's not clear, they will just discard your resume and they will move on to the next person. Okay? And then, so chronological, this is the next one. I didn't talk much about it because I really did not do much there. Hindi ko na nilagay na kahit nagde-data entry ako, nag-respond ako sa mga, hindi ko na highlight masyado yun. Basta I summarized yung highlight lang ng aking role in that company. There's no need to make it lengthy. Okay? Then education, I just put in there ano yung college achievement ko. Hindi ko na nilagay yung high school, yung elementary. If you're preparing a CV, you can put that. Pero if it's just something like this, combination siya ng chronological and functional, then just the bits that will be important to them. Okay? And then reference, confidential to guys, reference, and then other experience. Okay, so yung other experience ninyo, yan yung ibang ginawa ninyo that could potentially be helpful, na something that the prospective client would consider na parang, teka muna. Meron akong I've always been interested in ideation, pero hindi ko yan mag-grasp kung paano. And then makikita niya na, okay, itong applicant na to, marunong pala siya nun. She's actually delivered that. So, this is something that client would consider. Okay? And then, she writes web copy. I've always wanted to have a website, pero I get stuck in writing copy. I find it too expensive to hire a writer. Okay, so highlight your other experience and then tell them what your interests are, because that will give them a more rounded picture of who you are. So, for example, ito yung mga interests ko. This is what I love to do. Okay, so that's a resume in a nutshell. All right. So just to recap, this one talaga, this is the prime estate, yung first half ng inyong resume. So don't waste it. You'll notice I didn't put my picture because that's not important. You can put your picture there, but it's not important unless they're looking for a model, someone who will parang talk in a promotional video, then you don't have to put your picture there. If you do want to put your picture, make sure na maayos, professional yung picture ninyo. Okay? So, that's that. So, like what I said before, when writing anything, make sure that they're just all based on facts. Kung halimbawa din nyo maalala, anong year nga ba ako nag-work sa ganito? Anong year nga ba ako gumraduate? Kung di nyo maalala, leave it blank. Maglagay muna kayo ng bracket or lagay nyo year and then hanapin ninyo kung ano yung year, then inyo nang ilagay nyo dyan. Kasi, you shouldn't risk that. Your resume has to be accurate. Anyway, pwede mo naman siyang save a copy, duplicate it, and then make a new one eh. Okay, basta kumbaga, you will be able to reuse bulk of this, tapos i-amend mo na lang siya for each kind of application that you do. Okay? But the important thing is everything that you put here has to be accurate and has to be based on facts. Okay? Yan. Even the skills that you place in here, pag-isipan nyo mabuti. That's why I said, know what your top 3 skills are. Okay? Yung mga top 3 skills ko, yun sinulat ko dito. Okay? And then for the others sa tingin ninyo relevant for the position that you're looking for, ilalagay nyo rin yan. Walang limit yan sa skills and expertise. Okay? Walang limit yan. Okay. And you will notice na nilagay ko dito yung Manage the Executive's Day. Nilagay ko yan sa ilalim. Wala siya dito kasi it's part of my job but it's not my favorite thing to do. So, nakalagay siya sa taas. Although expected naman yan sa akin na gagawin ko yan. So, that's the resume. Do you have any questions so far? Hi, good evening. Ang dami na palang nagme-message. Sorry, hindi ko pala nasa-scroll down. Good evening, Miss Mimi. Ayan, si Maria Faith. Kaklase ko yan sa 3-day challenge. Si Lai. Yes, maulan na gabilay. Dito umaambon na rin sa Quezon City. Okay. Olongga po si James. Si Regina. Hi, Regina. Minessage niya ako sa LinkedIn. I hope you're able to get on with your skills inventory. If not, just message. Okay? Ayan. Sabi ni Mimi, yes, I'll list down all my task and function. Ang dami pala na related sa freelancing. Oh, that's very good. Need lang pala i-compose ng maganda. Okay. So, ang advice ko sa inyo, don't get bogged down by the appearance of your resume. As you can see, kung nakita nyo yung aking resume, it's just a plain Word document. Okay, kasi nga, as I said earlier, you have to keep your reader in mind. And the person who will be reading your resume is super busy. The reason why they need you is because they want to save time. Okay? And if pagkita nila sa resume ninyo, they can see on the spot, ito yung kailangan ko, tak, 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 andyan siya, okay, consider, move, sige. It's the trick is to make them move, keep scrolling down until they get to the end. Okay? Titingnan ko lang yung mga comments ninyo. Thank you for commenting. This is very helpful, guys, kasi kung nakapag-live na kayo before, parang it feels so weird na nagsasalita ako, tapos wala akong naririnig na feedback. So, I don't know if you guys can see. Nakita niyo ba yung aking na-screen share kanina? Were you able to see it? Please let me know. That's very good, Miss Mimi. I list down all my tasks and function. That's very good. That's very important. Okay? Need lang i-compose maganda. And then, sabi ni Maria Faith, ako po may resume and cover letter as draft. Yes. Do that. Do it as a draft. Tapos, make sure na kapag nag-draft ka na, give yourself at least a day before you go back to it. Ang advice ko sa inyo, don't ever edit your resume the first time that you build it. Okay, let it sink, percolate, incubate, whatever, marinate. Para habang, kasi may ganun yun eh, may ganung effect yun sa brain natin na mag-acquire tayo ng information. Then you have to sleep through it, ganyan. Tapos para yung mga alam mo noon from the past, magme-meet siya with the information that you have now. And then magkakaroon ka ng panibagong point of view on something. Okay? Kaya, so if you let at least 1 day to pass after you build your resume, you have fresh eyes. Okay? Yan. Elaine, sayang di ko narinig from start. Nag-asikaso po kay baby. Oh, that's okay, Elaine. I think with all the FB lives, makikita mo naman yung replay. Basta ang importante, if you're here, you can ask your questions and get instant answers. Yan. Okay. Hindi nyo nakita ang aking resume. So, this is not working. Sorry, guys. But it's showing to me that Facebook is sharing my screen. I'll stop sharing. I'm not sure. Siguro I'll just upload it for everyone to see. Oh, send na lang po link sa Google Drive. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm so sorry. I just saw your messages now, guys. I've been rambling pala na hindi nyo nakikita. Sorry about that. Elaine, yes, sell yourself in the summary. That's right. Summary. Elaine, only include what's relevant to the position you're applying for. Yep. Hi, Jill. Good evening. Alright. Okay. What's the difference between CV and resume? So, yung mga hindi nakuha yung first part, a resume is very functional. So, you keep it up to 2 pages and your work history up to 10 years back lang. Okay? Because you want it to be succinct. Alright? Whereas yung CV, mahaba yan. For example, you have 30 years experience, ilista mo lahat ng ng naging work mo from college, ganyan, hanggang sa, all your background, regardless kung relevant siya sa ina-applyan mo or hindi. Ganon yun. So, mahaba siya. Okay? That's the difference between a resume and a CV. So, kapag hiningan kayo ng CV, there's no limit. You can list down all your work experience. Pero kapag hiningan kayo ng resume, although sometimes kasi hindi nila alam din yung difference between a CV and a resume. Pero if they ask for a CV, send them a CV. Okay? Ayan, what's a CV? Curriculum vitae. That's what it means, CV. Okay. Right. Okay, so was that okay na, Elaine, CV? Do recruiters understand the CV? Ayun nga eh. Baka kasi minsan hindi nila naiintindihan. Okay, what a CV is, what a resume is. Basta ako, ang bet ko, when they ask for a resume, I just send them my combination style. So, I have the chronological and the functional combined. Okay, so you have the summary of what you do, and then katabi nun, on the same side, medyo narrow lang siya na ganon, list of your skills. Okay, and then as you move down, yun yung mga medyo minor, and then educational background. Now, depending on what their highlights are, for example, sabi nila, kailangan ito yung meron kang ganitong certification or kailangan meron kang ganitong degree. then make sure na nakalagay talaga yun sa inyong resume. Okay? Meron pa bang ibang questions dito? Should I move on now to the cover letter? This is not in my okay. This is not in my drive. Let me just save this on my drive and then I'll share the link with you. Okay. Bear with me, guys. Yan, ako lang. Okay, let me just save this to my Google Drive and then I'll send the link to you. Wait lang. Sino sa inyo yung mga merong in-applyan this week or in the past month? Please comment. Ano yung feeling niyo sa resume ninyo? Did you do research before you submitted it? Kung meron kayong resume na gustong ipakita sa akin, send me the link also. Here, during the live. Hold on, sorry. Just trying to upload the file. Okay, here it is. Okay, just making it that link. Okay. Okay, so this is confidential, guys, ha. Yan, i-share ko na sa inyo yung link. Oh, let me see. I bet when they ask for CV, they want resume, not CV. Because haven't seen CV if the description is experience of 30 years or plus. Yeah, Elaine. Yun din yung suspecha ko. I've seen some resumes, sabi ni Jill, wherein the references are not listed. There's just a note saying references available upon request. Yeah, that's a waste of time for the person who wants to hire you, to be honest. Kasi parang naglagay ka pa ng field for reference. So that's one of the things that you need to prepare when you're doing a resume, because it will be easier na parang tipong pagkabasa nila ng resume mo and they want to move you forward to the next application. Next step of the application. Halimbawa, they want to talk to that person first before they sit down with you in an interview. Then the information is there. Rather than babalikan ka pa, or baka sabihin nila, walang reference, so yung susunod na lang. Or silang dalawa para silang okay, consider ko sila. Pero ito, walang reference, so wag na lang to. I'm really in a hurry to parang get this person on board. So always remember yung clarity for the reader of your resume. Ayan. Is it possible to include awards from your previous job in the resume? Yes, you can. But only if it will be relevant to the position that you're applying for. Okay? So if you've been awarded in sales, you put that. For example, awarded ka parang sales performance for the year or for the month. Put it there if you're applying for a sales position. But if you're not applying for anything relevant to that, you don't have to put it there. Okay, it's just a bonus na if they see it and they say, oh, okay, pwede ka naming itap for this, make sure that it's something that you're really happy to do also. They wanted me, but there's conflict regarding work from home forever. You'll find your right client. You'll find the client that's right for you. Okay? So, wag kayong manghinayang sa ganon. It only means you'll be available to your ideal client. So, wag kayong manghinayang. Is that okay po ba, or is it a better practice to include the details of the references? It's better to include the details. So, lagyan yung, isa pa pala, before kayo maglagay ng reference, make sure na nagpaalam kayo dun sa tao. Okay? Make sure na nagpaalam kayo para alam nila, they will expect if someone will call them to ask about you. Okay? Kasi the last thing you want is your client on the phone, tapos maririnig niya yung taong pinatawagan mo nagulat. So, hindi yun maganda. Make sure that alam nung tao, ng reference mo na, can I ask you to be my reference kasi I'm updating my resume. I thought na I could include you, ganun. And then if you get their blessing, then that's the only time. And you ask them, can I get your current email address? What's the best number to call you? Okay? Kasi baka tawag ng tawag sa landline, yung pala mobile ang sinasagot niya. Okay? Or baka ayaw niyang kontakin siya sa mobile, gusto niya sa landline lang. So, mabuti na yung malinaw. And that again is another example of integrity. I honestly did not. Most of my resume po is for a chef. Oh, okay, James. So, that's a very interesting one because your career has been for a chef. Now it's time for you to sit down and see. Kaya nga, this is why it's important to do the skills inventory test para makita mo saan yung mga skills mo from your past work. Alin din, just pick alin doon yung pwede mong magamit for a virtual assistance practice. And you cannot just pick anything. That's why you have to do the inventory, skills inventory. I-narrow down mo doon, ano yung mga paborito mo talagang gawin out of all those skills. Siyempre, aalisin mo yung cooking, ganyan. Just, what's that? Okay, so just narrow it down. Kasi, mas maganda kung may direction yung iyong job hunt or the way that you're looking for clients. Mas maganda kung meron kang direction, and that direction will come from the services that you can offer. Diba? Nabanggit ko yan sa dati nating session na hindi lahat ng opening a-applyan mo kasi masasayang talaga yung oras mo. Pwede kang tsumamba, pwedeng may makakita sa'yo, ganon. Pero mas maganda kung targeted. Kasi at least you know na when you do get that deal or i-hire ka nila, then you know na you have the skills to do it. You're super confident that you can do it. Okay? Character references. Yes, Jill, that's for the character references. That's what I was talking about. Thankfully, got hired pa rin po as telesales. Telesales, okay. Yeah. BPO companies are lax, lalo ngayong pandemic. Very open sila. Oh, okay. That's good, especially if you want to work in BPO. Okay. It is better if my preferences are from government agencies. It's best if your references are people who can vouch for you, regardless kung government agency sila or not. Basta hindi relative. Kasi kailangan they're people that you've worked with before. Okay, so halimbawa, yung company nila is among the companies that you've worked with na nakasulat dun sa resume. Yan. Okay, so here's the Google Doc. Let me know if you can see it. All right. Yan. Okay, so that's there. You can have a look. And the reason why it's in Word doc is because most algorithms cannot read PDFs. So, unless sabihin sa inyo ng kliyente ninyo na please send it as a PDF file, send it as a Word document. Okay? Yan, nakita na ni Regina. Thank you, Regina. Yan. So, do you have to be original when making your resume? No. You can just copy and improve. Kasi itong template na ito, kinopya ko lang din to eh. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, di man ako magaling maggawa ng resume. Pero this is what I submit and I get responses using this style. Kasi succinct siya. Andun na lahat yung kailangan nilang makita. Okay, let's move on now to cover letters kasi naka 45 minutes na tayo. So, cover letters, hindi ako nakahugot ng sample dito. Pero, kung nakikita nyo lang sana kasi yung screen share ko, I could show you cover letters that I've submitted on Upwork. Okay? Siguro I'll just give you a screenshot later para makita ninyo ano yung content, how you connect with the person who posted the work. Okay, so let's go to Upwork now. Maging specific tayo sa Upwork. It has all the details that you need to be able to make a good cover letter. Kasi doon pinapakita nila, hindi nyo makikita minsan kung sino yung employer, di ba? Pero makikita ninyo sa may pinakababa, ano yung rating nila, ano yung first name nila kapag may nagbibigay ng feedback. So, you can address your cover letter to that person. Especially kung isang name lang talaga consistently, yun yung sinasabi ng mga freelancers na nagbibigay ng feedback. Okay? So, hi, name. Okay? Kesa to whom it may concern. So, personalize it and connect to the person. And then, second, i-research ninyo yung company nila. If they mention the name of their company in the job description, i-google ninyo yung company nila, what they do, tapos tignan ninyo how do they treat their employees. When you go to the about us or team or work with us or careers, makikita nyo doon how do they treat their employees. So if that's aligned to, the work environment that you want, then mas alam ninyo, mas masasabi ninyo sa cover letter na I really love that you support X. Halimbawa, may charity sila sinusupport and that happens to be close to your heart. You can also mention that. Sorry kung maingay, muulan. Singit lang. Is there a specific length or required number of words po for the professional summary? Limit it to 3 sentences if you can. Okay? But as long as you can cover the first half of that Word document on your computer, when you look at it, yung regular na size ng ninyo, regular view, hindi zoomed in, hindi zoomed out, basta yung perfect lang na size ng document niyo. As long as you can fit it in there sa top part, okay, top half of your document, that's good. Basta remember, 10 seconds, you should be able to grab their attention for in the first 10 seconds. So, make sure na ilalagay nyo dun sa first 10 seconds na mababasa nila is what you want them to read. Okay? And also, when you're editing your resume, check for spelling. Tapos yung pagkaka-type, baka proper noun, tapos small letter yung first letter ninyo. So, check nyo yung mga ganyan. Alright? So, that's for the cover letter. Really, it's all about customizing. Okay? Kasi it's such a time saver for the client or the recruiter when they can see na yung nag-a-apply, binasa talaga yung job description. That's why may kita nyo minsan, if you're going to apply, please write your favorite color on the subject line. Because that's already a way for them to screen kung binasa ninyo yung details nung job description. Kasi pag hindi nyo nilagay sa subject line, trash na agad yun. Diretso na yun sa trash. Hindi na nila yun babasahin kasi ibig sabihin you didn't bother to read the entire job description, which means you don't understand the role, which means you may not have the skills for it, and that you may not be a good fit. So, there's no point of them wasting their time reading your resume. So, always read the job description thoroughly and, showcase yung highlights nun sa cover letter ninyo. So, if they mention certain things there na talagang really jumps at you, then you put it in there. Okay? Put it in there yung parts na you love about the role. Halimbawa na, this is really for me because this is the role that I've been looking for. I have the skills for this. For example, in my past work, blah, blah, blah. Pwede kayong magkwento ng konti sa inyong cover letter. Para lang, because at the end of the day, you're talking to a person. And you don't want the person to be bored. Hindi nyo man kailangan bureaucratic yung sulat ninyo. It has to be, you showcase your personality there. But at the same time, still be professional. Okay? I hope that's not vague. Basta, as long as you use proper spelling, kahit naman hindi perfect ang grammar ninyo, if that's not what they're looking for, okay lang yon. Basta make it professional, make it clear what you can offer sa cover letter nila. So, in your cover letter, sa top part, okay, ito na naman tayo sa top part, para make sure na hindi nila bibitawan yung pagbabasa ng cover letter ninyo. Sa top part ninyo, isulat ninyo why you're the perfect person for that role. Okay? Yun yung kailangan nyo ilagay doon. Ano yung qualifications ninyo? It's not enough to just say, I have 11 years experience, unless that's a main thing that they're looking for. Kaya nga, it's important to read the job description. For example, nakalagay sa requirement nila, requirements, 5 years minimum na experience in X. So, dapat yung cover letter mo, nakalagay doon na, oh, I have at least 5 years experience. Para alam nila na, okay, tick agad yan. Pasok siya. Okay. Alright, tapos sabing, requirements must be, what do you call this? Fluent in English. O fluent in English. Sasabihin mo, I'm fluent in English, I can speak to blah blah blah. You showcase that. Kung ano yung mga requirements talaga, ilagay mo doon. Now, if there are skills na required na wala ka, just leave it open. You don't have to mention na, I don't have these skills. You don't have to say that. Instead, fill it up with the skills you have that you think can bring more value to their business. Okay, nabanggit ko na rin to sa mga webinar natin before na even if you're just 80% fit for the position you're applying for, that's fine, apply anyway, but compensate it. Let them know about the other skills that you can bring in that will add value. Okay, so remember sa cover letter, connect to the person who what their objectives are, anong work culture. So, connect to the person. You're a person, okay? Yung isa, person din yun, meron silang pangailangan, you can bring that requirement to them. So, yun yung purpose ng cover letter, is to confirm to them, assure them that, hey, this is what I can bring to you. Okay? Yan. So, avoid natin yung mga bureaucratic language na parang walang connection, alam nyo yun, parang magda-draft ka lang one time, tapos ika-copy-paste mo na sa lahat na application form mo. Wag ganon. Kasi kapag ganon, di-discard na nila yan. So, sayang naman yung effort mo. Diba? That's that. So, in your cover letter, talk a bit about yourself. You don't have to tell them, kasi minsan may nakita ko doon, I'm a mother of 2 kids, mga ganyan. That's not important. Okay, you don't have to mention to them that you're a mother. Sometimes, kung sakaling ma-encounter ninyo ay medyo averse sa mga may gawaing bahay, baka ma-eliminate pa. Kahit na wala naman yung na negative impact sa inyo. So, you don't have to mention those things. Pag natanong, tell me about yourself, you don't have to tell them that you're a mother or things like that. Immediately, i-grab nyo na agad yung attention nila kasi ang kailangan nila malaman, how you fit the role. So, you just talk about how you fit the role. Okay? So, real estate, primary estate sa computer screen. is to grab their attention. Make sure na ma-match nyo agad. Parang make them see na you already match the profile that they're looking for and that you can bring more value to them. Okay? So, nangyari sa akin yan early this year. They were just looking for an executive assistant. So, I sent my application. And then, I saw that they're a what do you call this? A non-profit organization and that they've organized events before. So, in-include ko yung background ko in events planning. And sure enough, when they interviewed me, they jumped into event planning agad. They didn't want me to be an executive assistant. They said, we see your strength in event planning. And that's what I got. And for the same rate. So, that's why yung relevant experience nyo lang yung ilalagay nyo doon. Okay? Cover letter, what else? Make sure that you include kung Upwork yan. Also mention, halimbawa may requirement sila for availability. How many hours per week? Or anong time zones dapat kayo available? Anong mga applications yung dapat na alam ninyo? Make sure na i-mention nyo rin yun sa cover letter. Because that will save them time. That will make them realize whether they still want to look at your resume or not. Okay? So, yun. Okay, Deo, thanks for sharing this. You're welcome, Deo. Kung meron kayong mga specific na questions, please ask them here because that's what the live is for, para mas instant yung sagot ko sa inyo. Cover letter, I'm the one because I'll make your life easier. I'll be your heaven, not your hell, something like that. Oo, Elaine, exactly, 'di ba? Kasi may kita nyo rin yan sa Facebook, sinishare nila yung cover letter nila na masyashock ka kasi ano siya, it really, parang alam mo yun, pinapakita na talaga yung personality niya na she's a bubbly person. And for some people na snob, for the people who are like her, not her ideal client, they would think, ano ba yan, hindi yan professional. But if she's talking to her ideal client, then they would love her immediately. Dun pa lang. Kaya nga. So, ulitin ko yung ano natin first of all, know your skills, know your ideal client. Okay? Know your ideal client kasi ayan yung dyan magpo-focus lahat ng energy ninyo sa ideal client ninyo or ideal position, ideal employer. 'Di ba? Para hindi nasasayang yung oras ninyo. Okay. Questions? Ay, teka. I will touch briefly on may 1 minute na lang before 9 o'clock. Imposter syndrome. Okay, so napansin ko na karamihan ng nandito sa group natin want to transition to a virtual assistant career. And nasa-stuck talaga sila dun sa inventory skills inventory because they're saying na wala silang skills relevant to virtual assistant. Well, natural yun kasi you feel that way kasi wala pang nakapagbigay sa'yo ng feedback about being a VA. Whereas dun sa work mo before, like for example, si James, dati siyang chef. May feedback sa kanya, chef, ang sarap talaga ng luto mo. Galing-galing mo talaga magluto ng pagkain. Or sasabihin ng customer, bumabalik talaga kami dito kasi masarap yung pagkain dito. So, meron kang feedback, di ba? Kaya confident ka na yun yung talagang top skill mo is to cook. Di ba? Pero ngayon na mag-virtual assistant ka, parang wala ka pang nare-receive na feedback. Pero isipin mo lang, magkakaroon ka rin ng feedback eventually. But don't let that stop you from grabbing opportunities, finding opportunities for your VA career. Okay? If you feel that this is really something that you want to do, don't let that stop you. Now, walang feedback, ganun. Kasi eventually magkakaroon ka. When I started, wala naman akong feedback. Lahat ng nag-start sa virtual assistant career, wala naman kaming nakukuha feedback na magaling kami in something. Okay? So, your reference in your resume from your traditional work, that's going to be helpful if your client can reach out to your character reference and ask about you. Diba? Makakatulong yun. But otherwise, a lot of the, for example, ako mga naging clients ko sa Upwork, di naman sila humingi ng referral Okay? Hindi sila humingi. Ang magiging feedback mo lang yan is yung work history mo sa Upwork, ano yung ratings na binibigay sa'yo ng clients mo. But Then again, if you don't have that, that's fine. If your ideal client is not looking for someone who's experienced, they're looking for beginners, then you don't have to worry. Okay, just emphasize na you're a fast learner if you are a fast learner. Emphasize that you are a tech savvy if you are a tech savvy. Yung ganon. Okay, so imposter syndrome will always be there, but aside from not having feedback to start with, check nyo rin yung sarili nyo. Why are you feeling that way? Kasi minsan, that's our brain telling us na parang, oh, this is something that you're not used to do. Parang parang it's your brain telling you to protect yourself. Alam mo yun? So parang nasa stuck ka, hindi ka makapag-move forward dun sa kailangan mong gawin. Like you need to build your resume for this new career, to transition to this career. Parang nag-freeze ka. It's your body telling you. It's your gut telling you na, hindi mo alam yun that's uncharted territory. So parang hindi mo magawa yung kailangan mong gawin. Parang your insecurity or lack of confidence, yun yung nag-a-attack sa'yo. So, check mo rin why you're feeling that way. Are there other things that happen that make you feel that way? Ganon. Kasi hindi ko naman pwedeng sabihin na, basta gawin mo lang yan, basta gawin mo lang yan. Yung pala, there are other factors that are going on in your life that's preventing you from moving on. For example, there's the fear na, I don't have the time anymore to look into this VA career. I don't have 3 hours to study a new course on how to be a social media manager. Because baka, aside from your full-time job, baka meron kang inaalagaan na parent, tapos meron ka pang mga anak, or you're a single parent, and you have so many responsibilities. That's why you feel like parang nagkakaroon ka ng imposter syndrome na, no, you cannot be a virtual assistant. So, just give yourself the space for that. You respect what your gut is telling you. Kasi, kapag ipinilit mo, parang wala dun yung 100% mo diba? So, might as well just give yourself the space na to breathe first. Make sure that you're prepared for it. Because there's a difference between you being ready and you just procrastinating for no reason. Sometimes we procrastinate because there's a valid reason for it. Na baka talagang our body and our environment are not ready for it. Our families are not ready for it. Okay? So don't feel bad about that. So that's just a reminder that I'd like to point out na it happens. Na sometimes kahit anong gusto mong ipilit yan, don't kill yourself. Okay? So kung hindi pa kung ano lang yung kaya nyong ibigay, that's what you give. Okay? Yun lang yung gusto kong i-bring up. So, imposter syndrome will be there because, first of all, wala kang previous experience as a virtual assistant. Ang antidote dyan, you don't, that's fine. Okay? There are clients who will take you on even if you don't have a previous virtual assistant experience because what they're looking for is the skills, the people that you've mingled with, kung ano yung knowledge mo in the past that you can, use to contribute to the business. Alright? So, huwag kayong mag-alala kung wala kayong feedback on being a virtual assistant. Lahat ng virtual assistant nagsimula sa zero feedback of being a virtual assistant. So, please, I hope if there's something that you'll take from this in building your resume, it's that. Okay? Everyone who started as a virtual assistant had no previous experience as a virtual assistant. It's the same thing with when you're looking for a job, diba? Sabihin nila, kailangan meron ka na experience. So, if you don't have work experience and you're a fresh graduate, then what you put in there are the skills that you learned when you were still in college. Or for example, nung high school ka, pinagbabantay ka sa tindahan. Diba? Pinag-iinventaryo ka ng tinda, linggo-linggo. So, it's like that. So, dapat yung frame of mind natin is experience that does not always relate to the setup where we had it. Na someone who was a teacher, yung skills niya as a teacher, hindi limited sa school. Okay? Project management, creating PowerPoint presentation, creating course outlines, mga ganyan. So, kailangan think out of the box. Dapat alisin natin yung limit sa isip natin, na yung skills natin sa trabaho natin ay para lang dun sa setup na yon. Okay? That's one. When it comes to imposter syndrome, it's because you really had no virtual assistant background, but you have skills that you can offer. It's just that you have to identify kung ano yung mga skills mo. Okay? Number 2 is listen to your body. Listen to your body and yung mental assessment mo ba? Kung baga, are you prepared for it? Are there other factors in your life that may be telling you you cannot just go full throttle transition into a VA career just yet? Maybe baka meron kang kailangan hintayin na matapos before you can do this, and in the meantime, scroll ka lang muna dito sa Facebook group na about virtual assistants na you don't have to fully commit to it. Okay? So, that's that. Explore. Mimi, thanks for always inviting me in your FB Live. I learned many things. Oh, thank you, Miss Mimi. I like your soft-spoken and I see you a very calm person. I'm soft-spoken. Thank you. Feeling ko nga pag pinapanood ko yung live ko, parang antaray ko eh. So, thank you for letting me know, Miss Mimi. Maria Ampong, explore. Exactly. Explore. Yes, that's a very important thing. Kasi, like what Maria did, diba? She's my classmate. Si Maria, si Lai, si Elaine, mga kaklase ko kayo sa diba? Sa 3-day challenge. And none of you have been copywriters before. I've never been a copywriter before. I just wrote blogs. And when I joined that challenge, that's the only time I had the courage to write web copy. Okay? So, explore. That's exactly it. Explore, because you'll never know. Parang, is this something that you can take on? Like, ito yung ginawa ko 5 years ago, di ba? Kasi data entry lang naman yung alam ko noon. So, I looked into the top paying, services. Tapos, tinignan ko alin dun yung madaling for me, given my time and my goal, madali sa akin na mag-upskill to be able to confidently do that position. Okay? So, explore. That's exactly right. Explore ninyo. Ano yung opportunities niyo? Sabi ko nga, di ba, dun sa inventory skills niyo, meron dong section about your passion. Ano ba yung passion ninyo? Or, pwede nyo ring idagdag doon, what have you always been curious about? Have you been curious about automation, AI, mga ganyan? So, explore ninyo. Okay? So, Jill, sometimes all it takes is making the first step, and little by little, mabibuild din ang confidence. Ang galing ni Jill talaga. Whenever I apply for a job, kahit di ako nakukuha, I celebrate it as a win pa din. Kasi I took a step and it was a learning experience. Exactly. You will always learn. You will always learn from it. Like, bakit kaya hindi nag-work yun? Diba? Sometimes it's something that you have to tweak with your resume, or something to tweak with the cover letter, or maybe it's really just not the right client for you. We're all capable. Maybe we just need a little push to build momentum. Thank you for sharing that, Jill. Okay, and you can count on me to be pushing you. Makukulitan kayo sa akin, but this is what the Facebook group is for. Nabanggit ko nga dun sa may Upwork Pilipinas na our group, VA Dream Academy, is the reason why I created this group for you guys is because nakaseparate na kayo dun sa mga nasa stage na interested, how po, mga ganun lang, na parang they're just alam mo yun, parang just jumping, hindi naman jumping, pero hindi pa sila sure kung anong direction nila, or alam mo yun, wala pa talaga silang step. So, this group is for you guys who are now, parang you have more clarity, more or less, on what you want to achieve, na parang baka mas serious kayo in considering freelance, okay, and doing something about it. That's why you're all here in this group. Kaya kinocurate ko dito is all about development and giving you direction, guiding you in how you can find your niche, your ideal position, your ideal client, and things like that. Kasi, para nakafocus lang tayo dito. Wala nang masyadong noise. Kumbaga, nakabukod na tayo. We can focus. Yan. I hope you're able to see the file, the resume. feel free to copy the template. Basta huwag nyo lang i-copy yung, yung content kasi hahanapin yan sa inyo ng client ninyo. So, feel free to use that as a template. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be fancy as long as it's clear and it's easy to understand. Always put your reader first when you're writing anything. Are there any questions? Siguro 4 minutes for Q&A kung meron pang may questions. I hope that you have good plans for the weekend, guys. Para dun sa mga pagod, kumayod, o kaya busy-busy sa mga baby, sa mga anak, or sa mga inaalagahan sa bahay. I hope that you'll find maybe 30 to 60 minutes of your time tonight or tomorrow for yourself. You have to take care of yourselves. Ako personally, I have my sister, si Christina. She was in our webinar 2 weeks ago. I think she has the COVID infection, kaya medyo na-stress ako. Na-stress kami ng twin ko kasi we're very worried about her. But we're always praying for her and we're already setting things in motion to prepare her, you know, whatever medical things she may need. So if you guys are in that position right now, I'll be praying for you and your family because this is no joke. Yeah, sleep, Elaine. Yung mga nagpupuyat para sa copywriting challenge. Bawi sa walang tulog. Jill, ano po ang topic for next session? Excited na sa learnings. Meron akong listahan dito eh. Nasaan ba yun? Okay, so we've covered resume and cover letter. I touched briefly on thank you, Elaine. I touched briefly on imposter syndrome. The next one would be goal setting, guys. Ito yung pinaka-importante sa lahat. Kasi kung wala kayong goal, wala na kayong pupuntahan. Nandyan na kayo, 'di ba? So, it's important to set your goals. Yan yung magiging topic natin sa Friday. And then, excited for the upcoming sessions. Yes, Mimi. Yan. So, yun. If you know anyone who would find these trainings useful, you can share, okay, our Facebook group with them. Basta, kailangan na nila mag-agree sa group rules natin because we want to keep this to be a safe community. Okay? Meron pa pala akong isang topic na gustong itako. We will schedule it. I promised it to Boboy, but I haven't done it. It's about Facebook profile, but I'm going to do that as a challenge. Okay? Gagawin ko siyang challenge. You're welcome, Maria. So, magkakaroon tayo ng challenge about, what did I call it? Facebook profile makeover. Yan. After we've set your goals, you know your skills, you've updated your resume. Okay, now we'll work on making sure that your store is open and that your clients can see you. Halimbawa, pumasok yung napansin yung resume ninyo. Saka na karami-raming nag-apply, 60 applications yung nandun sa Upwork. Napansin yung sa inyo, if your target client looks in your Upwork profile or in your social media, anong makikita nila? Yan yung gagawin natin sa challenge. Sabi ni Regina, I like that Facebook profile. That's why I make a new one. Yes. You made a new one? Did you make a new one? Right. The reason why I want to tackle this is because I saw a few members in this group when they joined, hindi nila real name yung nasa may Facebook profile. So they're asking me, do I need to create a new profile? Ganyan-ganyan. So, itatackle natin yan sa challenge. Challenge hangover. No, it's not going to be, hindi na madaling araw to, Elaine. It's not going to be late at night. But, so, as you can see, guys, this is my first time ever to do Facebook Lives. Kayo lang talaga yung nagtulak sa akin gawa nito. Before I posted, in all honesty, before I posted that story of mine sa Upwork Pilipinas, yung putting up my business na VA course, VA coaching, It's just something that I wrote a month before na parang sabi ko, I may not have time to do that kasi nga meron akong agency na inaasikaso ngayon. Pero, nakita nyo naman, isinabay ko kayo sa agency ko. So, I'm experimenting everything here. So, thank you for bearing with me. So, please let me know kung ano talaga yung nag-work sa inyo. Kasi, syempre, oras din to for me. So, kumbaga, sa ngayon, for example, imbis na ako nagpapatulog sa baby ko, we're all here tonight kasi, I think, ito yung ideal time for us to go on live kasi gabi na, nakakain na kayo, walang pasok bukas yung karamihan ng tao. So, yun, let me know. Kung gusto ko kasi ma-optimize din na hindi naman nasasayang yung time ko din, di ba? So, yan. I'm asking for a request here. Regina De Leon. Oh, okay. Regina, okay, sige. Thank you, Regina. I will check the membership requests after this call. Okay, thank you. Si Elaine Challenge Hangover. Alright. Yeah, importante kasi yun eh. Rooting for you, Miss Luella. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Yan. Meron pa ba kayong questions? Ayan, nag-exceed na naman ako. 3 minutes before I go. Okay lang yung stream natin ngayon, hindi ako napuputol, di ba? Yan. That's good. Is there anything else that I need to... Okay. Okay. Yan. Okay? Okay na ba? So, kung wala na kayong questions, again, feel free to use my sample resume as your template in building yours. Basta huwag kayo ma-overwhelm. Pag na-overwhelm kayo, stand up, iwanan nyo muna siya. But then the best thing talaga is to brain dump. Okay? Balikan nyo yung skills inventory ninyo. Okay? Basta kapag gumagawa kayo ng resume, tapusin nyo muna lahat. Wag kayong mag-edit. Okay? Tapusin nyo muna lahat. Ano yung summary ko? Next, ano yung work experience ko? And then, kahit mali-mali yan, hindi tama yung capitalization or whatever, ignore. Basta i-dump nyo lang lahat ng information dyan. Saan ako nag-aral, what year? Kung wala yung year, maglagay kayo ng bracket, isulat nyo, year. Tapos i-highlight nyo ng yellow para alam nyo na kapag binalikan nyo yung resume draft, you know that you have to, ito yung kulang ko na information, kailangan ko ilagay ito. Ganun. Okay. And then important, customize each application, guys, ha? Huwag na tayong magsisend ng generic. Okay? Just put time into it, whether it takes 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Sa una, baka nga 1 hour before kayo makagawa ng customized application kasi check nyo yung background ng company, ano yung job description, how do you fit it to your resume. Pero if you keep on doing that over and over, you'll become faster in doing it. Okay? Baka yung 1 hour ninyo before, 30 minutes na lang eventually. But that means quality application na mapapansin talaga na it will really grab the eyeballs of your reader. Okay? That's what you get in exchange for putting the 30 minutes there. Customize. And then, ang suggestion ko, just like what you see there in my sample, use first person in your journey rather than third person. Parang mas maganda yun. First person ka, you're talking to a person. Okay? Parang when you say first person, I, me, mga ganyan. Instead of he, she, Luella, ganyan. You talk about yourself, as yourself. Okay? So, Jill, thanks so much for being considerate. And generous in sharing with us your knowledge and expertise. You're welcome, Jill. I'm very, very happy to help. Okay? Ayan. Sige. So, if there's nothing else, kung meron pa kayong question, if you're watching this as a replay, please post your questions there or your comments kasi babalikan ko naman yan. Tapos magsasagot din ako. Okay? So, I'll leave you with that. Remember, for this weekend, have time to look at your skills, your resume, if you have time for it. And then, magpahinga din tayo. Okay? Baka meron na kailangan ng hug, let's give them a hug, ganyan, 'di ba? Tawagan natin mga loved ones natin this weekend. It's important to have work-life balance. Okay? Alrighty. So, I'll see you next week. I'll leave it with that, and I hope you all have a very, very wonderful, restful Friday. Bye.